Question 1. In behavior modification, classical conditioning is often used to help modify undesirable behavior. Consider the following scenario. Sarah is working with a dog named Max who has developed a fear of the vacuum cleaner. Every time the vacuum is turned on, Max becomes highly anxious and starts hiding under the furniture. Sarah wants to use classical conditioning to help Max become less fearful of the vacuum. Which of the following steps should Sarah take in applying classical conditioning to reduce Max's fear of the vacuum? A. Introduce the vacuum to Max only during his regular walks, ensuring he becomes distracted and doesn't focus on it. B. Pair the sound of the vacuum with high-value treat to create positive association whenever Max hears the vacuum, gradually reducing his fear. C. Gradually expose Max to the vacuum while punishing him for his fearful behavior, aiming to extinguish the fear through negative reinforcement. D. Allow Max to hide under furniture whenever the vacuum is turned on so that he learns it is a safe place to be during these events. Answer. B. Pair the sound of the vacuum with a high-value treat to create a positive association whenever Max hears the vacuum, gradually reducing his fear. Explanation. Classical conditioning involves creating associations between a neutral stimulus, the vacuum, and a stimulus that evokes a positive response, the treat. By pairing the sound of the vacuum with a high-value treat, Sarah is using positive reinforcement to form a positive association with the vacuum, which will reduce Max's fear over time. While the other options are incorrect, option is ineffective because simply distracting Max does not address the fear or change the association he has with the vacuum. Option C introduces punishment, which is not the focus of classical conditioning and may exacerbate Max's fear, leading to more anxiety. Option D allows Max to avoid facing the feared stimulus, vacuum, and doesn't help him learn to cope with it, reinforcing the avoidance behavior. Question 2. A key component of effective behavior modification is understanding the role of reinforcement. Reinforcement schedules are important in shaping behavior, and they influence how quickly behavior is learned or extinguished. Which of the following statements best describes the impact of a variable ratio reinforcement schedule on behavior? A variable ratio schedule produces behavior that is learned more slowly, but is more likely to be extinguished quickly when reinforcement stops. B. A variable ratio schedule produces high rates of response and is very resistant to extinction due to the unpredictability of reinforcement. C. A variable ratio schedule ensures that behavior is learned quickly and then maintains at a steady rate with minimal effort. D. A variable rate schedule is the least effective because reinforcement is delivered too randomly to maintain stable behavior. Answer. B. A variable ratio schedule produces high rates of response and is very resistant to extinction due to the unpredictability of reinforcement. Explanation. The variable ratio reinforcement schedule is one of the most powerful methods of reinforcement in operant conditioning. It provides reinforcement after an unpredictable number of responses, which leads to high rates of behavior because the individual never knows when the reinforcement will occur. This unpredictability leads to resistance to extinction, meaning the behavior persists even when reinforcement is no longer given. Why the other options are incorrect? Option is incorrect because variable ratio schedules actually result in rapid learning and are difficult to extinguish, not the opposite. Option C oversimplifies the variable ratio schedule's effect. It does produce steady behavior, but the process of learning is faster than implied. Option D is wrong because variable ratio schedules are very effective, not ineffective. Their unpredictability actually strengthens the behavior rather than weakening. Question 3, scenario-based. Mr. Thompson is working with his dog Bella, who is exhibiting aggressive behavior towards other dogs during walks. Bella's aggression is triggered when she encounters other dogs in the neighborhood and she starts lunging and growling. Mr. Thompson wants to use desensitization and counter-conditioning to reduce Bella's aggression towards other dogs, but he is unsure how to proceed. Which of the following is the most appropriate first for Mr. Thompson to take in implementing these techniques with Bella? A. Immediately take Bella on walk in busy park where there are many dogs, exposing her to the stimulus all at once in hopes that she will overcome her aggression. B. Begin by exposing Bella to dog in controlled setting, ensuring that Bella is at a distance where she is not reactive, and then gradually reduce the distance while rewarding calm behavior. C. Allow Bella to approach other dogs without any training or reinforcement, trusting that the social interaction will naturally reduce her aggression. D. Use prong collar to correct Bella whenever she starts showing aggression towards another dog, ensuring the behavior is suppressed. Answer. B. Begin by exposing Bella to the dog in a controlled setting, ensuring that Bella is at a distance where she is not reactive, and then gradually reduce the distance while rewarding calm behavior. Explanation: desensitization and counter-conditioning are behavior modification techniques that aim to reduce a pet's emotional response, e.g., fear of aggression, by gradually exposing them to the feared stimulus, in this case other dogs, at low intensity, and pairing it with positive reward. In this scenario, starting with controlled exposure to another dog at distance allows Bella to remain calm, and as she learns to associate the presence of other dogs with positive experiences, treats, her aggression will decrease over time. This approach is gradual and reinforces calm behavior. Why the other options are incorrect. Option is incorrect because sudden and intense exposure flooding could overwhelm Bella, making aggression worse, not better. Option C is ineffective because allowing Bella to approach other dogs without control or reinforcement doesn't address the root cause of her aggression or promote positive behavior. Option D is inappropriate because using aversive tools like prong collar can increase fear and anxiety, leading to an escalation of aggressive behavior, and does not address the emotional causes of aggression. Question 4. A client is working with their dog Daisy, who has developed a sudden fear of loud noises after a traumatic experience during a thunderstorm. Daisy's owner is concerned because the dog now shows signs of anxiety, including trembling, panting, and attempting to hide every time it hears a loud noise, even during regular activities like vacuuming or the sound of traffic. The owner wants to help Daisy overcome her fear of loud noises. Counter-conditioning and desensitization techniques. What would be the most effective way for Daisy's owner to begin addressing Daisy's fear of loud noises through these methods? A. Immediately expose Daisy to loud noises during thunderstorm to overwhelm her and force her to become accustomed to the sounds. B. Play recordings of thunderstorm sounds at very low volume, rewarding Daisy with treats when she remains calm, and gradually increase the volume as Daisy becomes less reactive. C. Allow Daisy to hide whenever she hears loud noise, reinforcing the behavior by rewarding her with her favorite toy when she seeks out her hide. D. Start using medication to sedate Daisy whenever there is loud noise to prevent her from experiencing any stress or anxiety. Answer: B. Play recordings of thunderstorm sounds at a very low volume, rewarding Daisy with treats when she remains calm, and gradually increase the volume as Daisy becomes less reactive. Explanation: counter-conditioning and desensitization are both techniques aimed at reducing fear responses by gradually exposing the animal to the feared stimulus, loud noises, at a level where the animal does not exhibit a fearful response. In this case, start low-volume recordings of thunderstorm sounds, and rewarding Daisy for staying calm helps her to form a positive association with the sound, making it less threatening over time. Gradually increasing the volume helps Daisy get accustomed to louder noises without triggering anxiety, while the other options are incorrect. Option A could increase Daisy's fear, as flooding her with loud noises without preparation may overwhelm her and make her fear worse. Option C reinforces avoidance behavior by allowing Daisy to hide whenever she hears loud noise, which doesn't help her learn to cope with the fear. Option D sedates Daisy, which may prevent her from showing signs of anxiety but doesn't address the underlying fear and does not contribute to behavior modification. Question 5. Sarah is working with a cat named Whiskers who exhibits destructive chewing and clawing on furniture when left alone. Sarah is concerned about the behavior and wants to use operant conditioning to reduce it. Whiskers has been left alone for long periods and often expresses her frustration by destroying furniture. Which of the following strategies would be the most appropriate for Sarah to employ in using operant conditioning to reduce Whiskers' destructive behavior? A. Ignore the destructive behavior, hoping Whiskers will eventually outgrow it and learn better behaviors on her own. B. Use positive punishment, such as spraying water on Whiskers every time she scratches furniture to discourage the behavior. C. Use positive reinforcement to reward Whiskers for using appropriate scratching posts and providing interactive toys while she is left alone. D. Use negative reinforcement by removing Whiskers' food whenever she scratches the furniture, so she associates the behavior with loss of food. Answer: C. Use positive reinforcement to reward Whiskers for using appropriate scratching posts and providing interactive toys while she is left alone. Explanation: operant conditioning is based on the idea that behaviors are influenced by their consequences. Positive reinforcement is the most effective way to modify behavior where desirable behaviors are encouraged by providing rewards. In this case, Sarah can encourage Whiskers to use appropriate scratching posts by rewarding her with treats or affection whenever she does so. Providing interactive toys while she is alone helps redirect her energy away from destructive behavior, while the other options are incorrect. Option: it does not actively address the destructive behavior, leaving it unchecked and potentially allowing it to continue. Option B involves positive punishment, which can increase anxiety and fear, potentially leading to more unwanted behaviors. This may also strain the human-animal bond. Option D involves negative reinforcement, which is not as effective as positive reinforcement in encouraging desirable behavior. It could also confuse Whiskers by associating food removal with undesirable behavior, leading to more frustration and destructive tendencies. Question 6. Michael is working with his dog, Bailey, to improve their walking routine. Bailey tends to pull on the leash and get overly excited during walks, making the experience stressful for both Michael and Bailey. Michael wants to teach Bailey to walk calmly on the leash using positive reinforcement and avoid behaviors like pulling and jumping. What is the most effective strategy Michael can use to address Bailey's pulling behavior and encourage appropriate walking manners? A. Stop moving every time Bailey pulls on the leash and only continue walking when Bailey is calm and not pulling, using treats as reward for walking calmly. B. Yell at Bailey when she pulls on the leash to correct her behavior and encourage her to walk properly. C. Allow Bailey to pull on the leash until she tires herself out and then reward her with treat for walking calmly when she's no longer pulling. D. Use choke chain to punish Bailey for causing discomfort when she attempts to pull on the leash. Answer A. Stop moving every time Bailey pulls on the leash and only continue walking when Bailey is calm and not pulling, using treats as a reward for walking calmly. Explanation: the principle behind positive reinforcement is to reward desirable behaviors. In this case, Michael should stop walking whenever Bailey pulls on the leash and only resume walking when she is calm. By using treats as a reward for calm walking, Michael encourages Bailey to understand that walking calmly on a loose leash is the desired behavior. This approach uses positive reinforcement to encourage calm behavior and teaches Bailey that pulling results in the cessation of the walk, which she will want to avoid, while the other options are incorrect. Option B uses yelling, which is a form of aversive stimuli and can create fear or anxiety, which may worsen Bailey's behavior. Option C is incorrect because allowing Bailey to pull until she tires out does not teach her proper walking behavior and reinforces pulling. Option D involves using aversive methods, choke chain, which can cause physical harm and lead to negative association with walks, potentially worsening the behavior. Question 7. Jill is consulting with a new client, Lisa, whose dog Max has developed the compulsive behavior of chasing his tail, which has been getting worse over time. Lisa is concerned about Max's behavior and wants to help him stop, but she is unsure whether this is a simple behavioral issue or if it could be related to an underlying health condition. What should Jill do first in this situation? A. Begin by attempting to correct Max's behavior through desensitization and counter-conditioning techniques without seeking veterinarian's opinion. B. Advise Lisa to continue letting Max chase his tail as it is normal behavior that dogs will eventually grow out of. C. Recommend that Lisa consult a veterinarian to rule out any potential medical issues before starting behavior modification techniques. D. Suggest using positive punishment, such as using an aversive noise every time Max chases his tail to immediately stop the behavior. Answer: C. Recommend that Lisa consult a veterinarian to rule out any potential medical issues before starting behavior modification techniques. Explanation: compulsive behaviors like tail chasing in dogs can sometimes have underlying medical causes, such as neurological issues, pain, or parasites. It's essential to rule out medical problems before starting any behavior modification plan. Jill should recommend that Lisa consult a veterinarian. Ensure that Max's behavior isn't symptom of an undiagnosed health problem. Once health concerns are ruled out, Jill can then proceed with behavior modification strategies. Why the other options are incorrect. Option skips the important step of consulting veterinarian first, which could lead to misdiagnosing the problem and ineffective treatment. Option B is incorrect because tail chasing is not always normal and could indicate compulsive or medical issue that requires attention. Option D recommends punishment, which is not appropriate for compulsive behaviors and could exacerbate the situation by increasing anxiety or confusion. Question 8. Riley has recently adopted a rescue dog, Bella, who is extremely fearful of strangers. Bella exhibits signs of fear aggression such as growling, barking, and attempting to bite when a new person enters the home. Riley is concerned about Bella's behavior and wants to help her become more comfortable around new people. Riley is considering using desensitization protocol to address Bella's fear of strangers. What would be the most appropriate first step in implementing desensitization plan to help Bella A. Introduce Bella to large group of strangers at once to expose her to many new people and overwhelm her fear. B. Have close friend O'Reilly's who Bella already knows and trusts come over and calmly reward Bella with treats while she remains calm in the presence of the friend. C. Isolate Bella in room every time stranger visits to avoid any interactions that may trigger her fear. D. Start training Bella to obey commands like sit without considering her fear of strangers, assuming that the obedience training will distract her from the fear. Answer: B. Have a close friend of Riley's who Bella already knows and trusts come over and calmly reward Bella with treats while she remains calm in the presence of the friend. Explanation: desensitization involves gradually exposing the animal to feared stimulus, in this case strangers, at level where they do not experience overwhelming fear. The goal is to create positive associations with the feared stimulus. The most appropriate step is to use person is already familiar with, ensuring that she feels secure. Rewarding her with treats for calm behavior while this trusted person is present helps to build positive associations and reduce fear over time. This method uses positive reinforcement to help Bella associate strangers with something pleasant, treats, while the other options are incorrect. Option would overwhelm Bella's senses by introducing multiple strangers at once, which could increase fear and worsen the behavior. Option C isolates Bella from the opportunity to learn to cope with her fear. Isolation reinforces avoidance behavior and does not address the issue. Option D involves obedience training, but it fails to address Bella's core fear. Fear aggression should be addressed by focusing on the fear itself first, not obedience training. Question 9. During a consultation with a new client, Kate, an experienced behavior consultant, is asked to help a cat named Smokey who has been exhibiting signs of territorial aggression. Smokey hisses, growls, and attacks other cats in the household, and the problem seems to be worsening as more cats are brought into the home. The owners are unsure how to handle the situation. Which of the following approaches would be most effective in addressing Smokey's territorial aggression toward other cats in the household? Allow Smokey to continue expressing aggression, believing that the other cats will eventually learn their place in the hierarchy. B. Implement a systematic desensitization and counter-conditioning program, gradually introducing Smokey to the other cats in a controlled manner while rewarding calm behavior. C. Use positive punishment techniques, such as spraying Smokey with water every time she hisses or attacks another cat to stop the behavior. D. Remove the other cats from the home so that Smokey no longer has to share her space and can feel more comfortable. Answer: B. Implement a systematic desensitization and counter-conditioning program, gradually introducing Smokey to the other cats in a controlled manner while rewarding calm behavior. Explanation: territorial aggression in cats often arises due to fear, insecurity, or a perceived threat to their territory. The best approach is to use systematic desensitization and counter-conditioning techniques to gradually expose Smokey to the other cats in a controlled manner. This can start with scent exchanges or visual exposure through a baby gate, and as Smokey remains calm, she should be rewarded with treats or affection. Over time, this helps Smokey reframe her aggressive response into a more relaxed one in the presence of other cats. This method builds positive associations and reduces her aggression, while the other options are incorrect. Option A would allow the aggressive behavior to continue unchecked, potentially worsening the situation and causing harm to the other cats. Option C uses positive punishment, which can increase stress and fear, potentially making the aggression worse. It does not address the underlying cause of territorial aggression. Option D removes the other cats, which may temporarily reduce conflict, but does not help Smokey learn to tolerate other cats. This solution does not address the behavioral issue. Question 10. Charlie is concerned about his dog Max, who has started exhibiting signs of separation anxiety. Max barks excessively, chews on furniture, and even urinates in the house when Charlie leaves for work. Charlie has heard of a counter-conditioning technique to help address separation anxiety, but he is unsure how to apply it effectively. Which of the following steps would be the most appropriate for Charlie to take when using counter-conditioning to address Max's separation anxiety? A. Gradually increase the duration of Max's time alone, starting with short periods and rewarding calm behavior with treats when Charlie returns home. B. Ignore Max's behavior when he barks, hoping he will eventually stop when he realizes barking is not getting attention. C. Use negative reinforcement, such as giving Max treat every time he shows signs of anxiety to encourage him to stop barking when Charlie leaves. D. Punish with loud noise or water spray when he barks during Charlie's absence to stop the behavior immediately. Answer A. Gradually increase the duration of Max's time alone, starting with short periods and rewarding calm behavior with treats when Charlie returns home. Explanation. Encounter conditioning for separation anxiety. The goal is to change the emotional response to being alone by gradually increasing the time spent alone while rewarding calm behavior. By starting with short absences and gradually increasing the duration, Max learns that being alone is not threat. This technique helps Max associate his owner's departures with positive experiences, treats, rather than anxiety, leading to reduction in his fear and anxiety over time. While the other options are incorrect, option B is not proactive and does not address Max's anxiety. Ignoring the barking may not help Max learn to cope with being alone. Option C involves giving treat when Max shows anxiety, which could reinforce the anxious behavior rather than reduce it. Option D uses punishment, which can increase anxiety and fear, exacerbating the problem. This does not address the underlying issue of separation anxiety. Question 11. Sophia has a dog named Leo who has recently started exhibiting aggressive behavior towards unfamiliar dogs during walks. Leo's aggression includes growling, barking, and lunging at other dogs. Sophia is concerned about Leo's behavior and wants to address it using desensitization and counter-conditioning techniques. What would be the most effective first step for Sophia to take when using desensitization and counter-conditioning to Leo's aggression? A. Immediately allow Leo to meet other dogs in close proximity during walks to expose him to as many dogs as possible. B. Use muzzle to prevent Leo from biting, but do not address the underlying fear or aggression. C. Start by having Leo observe other dogs from distance at level where he does not show aggression, rewarding him for calm behavior. D. Use positive punishment to stop Leo's aggressive behavior by applying an aversive spray bottle every time he lunges at another dog. Answer C. Start by having Leo observe other dogs from a distance at a level where he does not show aggression, rewarding him for calm behavior. Explanation. In desensitization and counter-conditioning, the goal is to gradually expose the dog to the feared stimulus, in this case other dogs, at a level where the dog does not react aggressively. By starting at a distance where Leo is calm, Sophia can reward him with treats, reinforcing calm behavior. Presence of other dogs. Over time, the exposure can be made closer, with Leo learning to associate other dogs with positive experiences rather than fear or aggression. While the other options are incorrect, option exposes Leo to other dogs too quickly and at too close a distance, which may overwhelm him and reinforce the aggression. Option B focuses on preventing biting with a muzzle but does not address the emotional response, fear or aggression behind Leo's behavior. Option D involves positive punishment, which can increase fear and anxiety and may worsen the aggression in the long run. Question 12. Ella is consulting with a client whose dog Rufus has developed separation anxiety. Rufus becomes extremely anxious when left alone, resulting in destructive behaviors such as chewing on furniture, barking excessively, and urinating indoors. Ella wants to help Rufus overcome his anxiety, but she's unsure of the most appropriate approach. Which of the following strategies would be most effective in addressing Rufus' separation anxiety? A. Allow Rufus to stay close to the owner at all times and never leave him alone, as this will prevent anxiety. B. Gradually increase the time Rufus spends alone, starting with short periods and rewarding calm behavior when left alone. C. Punish Rufus every time he displays anxious behavior, using an aversive stimulus to stop the behavior immediately. D. Use medication to sedate Rufus every time he is left alone to prevent anxiety developing. Answer. B. Gradually increase the time Rufus spends alone, starting with short periods and rewarding calm behavior when left alone. Explanation. The most effective way to address separation anxiety is through gradual desensitization. By starting with short periods of separation and slowly increasing the time Rufus is left alone, he can learn to cope with being alone without becoming anxious. During these initial separations, rewarding calm behavior, treats or praise helps to create positive associations with the absence of the owner. This process helps Rufus gradually become desensitized to the anxiety-provoking situation of being left alone. While the other options are incorrect, option that would prevent Rufus from ever learning how to cope with being alone. While it may reduce his anxiety temporarily, it does not help him overcome the issue in the long term. Option C involves punishment, which can increase anxiety and fear, especially in dogs with separation anxiety. This approach is likely to make the situation worse and does not address the root cause of the anxiety. Option D suggests using medication to sedate Rufus, which does not address the behavioral issue. A medication may be useful as a supplementary measure, but it should not be the sole approach. Behavior modification is the most effective way to treat separation anxiety. Question 13. You are working with a client whose 4-year-old border collie Finn has developed a strong desire to herd the family's young children. Finn often becomes overly excited, chasing after the children, nipping at their heels, and even attempting to herd them into certain areas of the house. The behavior has become problematic, and the client is concerned that it could lead to more aggressive behavior as Finn matures. What would be the most effective approach? Modify Finn's herding behavior toward the children. A. Use punishment to stop Finn from herding by applying loud noise or aversive stimulus when he begins chasing the children. B. Redirect Finn's energy to more appropriate behaviors, such as teaching him specific commands or engaging in activities like herding balls or toys in controlled environment. C. Allow Finn to continue herding the children until he grows out of the behavior on his own. D. Isolate Finn from the children whenever he's herding them to reduce his access to the situation. Answer. B. Redirect Finn's energy to more appropriate behaviors, such as teaching him specific commands or engaging in activities like herding balls or toys in controlled environment. Explanation. Border collies have natural herding instinct, and Finn's behavior is manifestation of that instinct. The most effective way to manage this behavior is to redirect his energy toward more appropriate outlets. Engaging Finn in controlled herding activities, herding balls or toys, and teaching him alternative behaviors will allow him to express his natural instincts in a safe and constructive way. Positive reinforcement should be used to reward calm, non-herding behaviors. Option. Punishment may suppress the behavior temporarily, but it is unlikely to address the root cause. Punishment can also cause anxiety or fear, potentially exacerbating the issue. Option C. Allowing Finn to grow out of it is ineffective, as herding is natural behavior in the breed and is unlikely to subside on its own without intervention. Option D. Isolating Finn might reduce the immediate problem, but it does not address the underlying cause of Finn's behavior and could increase anxiety or frustration. Question 14. A client comes to you with a 6-month-old Doberman Pinscher, Zeus, who is exhibiting signs of separation anxiety. Zeus becomes destructive, vocalizes excessively, and urinates inside the house whenever his owner leaves. The client is concerned about the impact this behavior could have on their relationship with Zeus and is seeking guidance on how to manage his separation anxiety. Which of the following strategies would be the most appropriate step in addressing Zeus' separation anxiety? A. Immediately create Zeus for longer periods when the owner is away to prevent destructive behavior and reduce his anxiety. B. Implement a gradual desensitization program by leaving Zeus alone for short periods of time, gradually increasing the duration of separations while providing positive reinforcement for calm behavior. C. Punish Zeus for the destruction and vocalizations to teach him that this behavior is unacceptable. D. Zeus to remain close to the owner at all times, even when the owner is home, to prevent any stress from being away. Answer. B. Implement a gradual desensitization program by leaving Zeus alone for short periods of time, gradually increasing the duration of separations while providing positive reinforcement for calm behavior. Explanation. Separation anxiety is a common issue, and the most effective treatment involves gradual desensitization. By starting with short separations and rewarding Zeus for calm behavior, the dog can slowly tolerate being alone. This process helps him build confidence and reduces his anxiety over time. Positive reinforcement encourages the desired calm behavior. Obchiwas or crating for longer periods can worsen anxiety by increasing stress. Crating should be done as part of the desensitization process, not as a punishment or isolation technique. Option C, punishment, is counterproductive as it can increase the anxiety and confusion. Zeus needs reassurance, not punishment, to overcome his separation anxiety. Option D, allowing Zeus to remain with the owner at all times, does not help him build tolerance for separation. While it may temporarily alleviate his stress, it will not address the root cause. Question 15. A client has a 9-year-old cat named Luna who has developed a sudden fear of being in her carrier. Luna used to enter her carrier willingly when the owner needed to take her to the veterinarian, but now she hides whenever the carrier is brought out. The owner is concerned about Luna's resistance to traveling and wants to address the issue before future vet visits become even more stressful. Which of the following interventions would be the effective way to modify Luna's behavior regarding her carrier? A. Force Luna into the carrier quickly before she has A chance to escape or resist, ensuring that the behavior is corrected promptly. B. Gradually desensitize Luna to the carrier by associating it with positive experiences, such as placing treats, toys, or bedding inside the carrier and allowing her to explore it on her own terms. C. Use a calming collar or medication to sedate Luna during trips to the vet without addressing the behavioral issue. D. Punish Luna for resisting the carrier by using a spray bottle or other aversive methods to stop her from hiding. Answer: B. Gradually desensitize Luna to the carrier by associating it with positive experiences, such as placing treats, toys, or bedding inside the carrier and allowing her to explore it on her own terms. Explanation: Luna's fear of the carrier is likely due to negative associations with it. The most effective solution is gradual desensitization, which involves making the carrier a positive place by associating it with things Luna enjoys, such as treats or favorite toys. This process will help her feel comfortable with the carrier and reduce her anxiety over time. Optional forcing Luna into the carrier could increase her fear and resistance, making future trips even more stressful. Option C. Using a calming collar or medication might be useful in certain situations, but it does not address the root cause of the fear. Behavior modification is the best long-term solution. Option D. Punishing Luna would only heighten her fear of the carrier and may cause additional behavioral issues, worsening the situation. Question 16. A client brings in a 2-year-old Chihuahua named Bella who has developed a strong tendency to bark excessively at other dogs while on walks. Bella's owner is concerned that this behavior is becoming disruptive and they are finding it difficult to manage her during outings. The owner wants to find a solution to make walks more pleasant and reduce Bella's barking at other dogs. Which of the following strategies would be the most appropriate? Managing Bella's excessive barking. A. Use an aversive collar, such as shock collar, to correct Bella whenever she barks at other dogs. B. Implement training plan that includes positive reinforcement for calm behavior and desensitization to other dogs by gradually exposing Bella to them at distance while rewarding calm behavior. C. Ignore Bella's barking and allow her to bark out, hoping she will eventually stop on her own. D. Use choke chain to control Bella's barking, physically restricting her when she begins barking at other dogs. Answer: B. Implement a training plan that includes positive reinforcement for calm behavior and desensitization to other dogs by gradually exposing Bella to them at a distance while rewarding calm behavior. Explanation: Bella's barking at other dogs is likely due to excitement, fear, or frustration. The most effective method is positive reinforcement combined with desensitization, where Bella is exposed to other dogs at distance she can tolerate, rewarded for remaining calm. Over time, the distance can be reduced as she learns to remain calm around other dogs. This method addresses the behavior while building positive associations with other dogs. Option: aversive collar can cause fear and anxiety, potentially worsening the behavior. Punishment does not teach Bella what to do instead of barking. Option C, ignoring the barking, is ineffective because it does not address the root cause of the behavior or teach Bella how to behave appropriately. Option D, choke chain, is punitive method that can cause physical and psychological harm. It does not teach Bella how to behave around other dogs and may increase fear or aggression. Question 17. A client with a 5-year-old Jack Russell Terrier, Max, seeks help for his compulsive behavior of repeatedly chasing his tail. Max engages in this behavior multiple times a day, often spinning in circles for several minutes before stopping. The client is concerned about the impact this behavior might have on Max's overall well-being and wants to find a way to reduce the frequency of tail chasing. What would be the most effective approach to managing Max's tail chasing behavior? A. Punish Max by using an aversive technique, such as spray bottle or loud noise, to interrupt the tail chasing behavior. B. Gradually increase the amount of time Max is allowed to engage in tail chasing, gradually reducing it as he learns to calm down. C. Engage Max in more stimulating activities, such as puzzle toys and interactive play, to redirect his energy and reduce the compulsive behavior. D. Ignore the behavior and hope Max eventually outgrow it as he matures. Answer: C. Engage Max in more stimulating activities such as puzzle toys and interactive play to redirect his energy and reduce the compulsive behavior. Explanation: tail chasing in dogs can be a sign of boredom, anxiety, or compulsive behavior. The most effective way to address this issue is to provide more mental and physical stimulation for Max. Engaging him in interactive play, puzzle toys, and other activities will help redirect energy and reduce the compulsive tail chasing behavior. Positive reinforcement for non-tail chasing behavior can also be incorporated. Optional punishment can increase stress and anxiety, potentially reinforcing the behavior. Dogs with compulsive behaviors need redirection, not punishment. Option B, gradually increasing tail chasing time will reinforce the behavior rather than reduce it. Tail chasing is a compulsive behavior that needs to be redirected. Option D, ignoring the behavior is unlikely to help Max, as compulsive behaviors often require intervention to change. Question 18. A client has a 7-year-old mixed breed dog named Daisy who has suddenly started exhibiting aggression towards unfamiliar people, particularly when they approach her owner. This behavior has only emerged recently, and the client is concerned about Daisy becoming increasingly aggressive in these situations. The owner reports that Daisy has always been well socialized and has not had previous issues with aggression. The client asks for your on how to address this change in behavior. Which of the following strategies would be the most effective way to manage Daisy's aggression towards unfamiliar people? A. Immediately reprimand Daisy with loud noise or an aversive technique whenever she shows aggression towards strangers. B. Gradually desensitize Daisy to the presence of unfamiliar people, pairing positive experiences with the presence of strangers to reduce her fear or discomfort. C. Encourage Daisy to growl and show aggression towards strangers to teach them to avoid her. D. Isolate Daisy from strangers entirely to prevent any further aggression. Answer: B. Gradually desensitize Daisy to the presence of unfamiliar people, pairing positive experiences with the presence of strangers to reduce her fear or discomfort. Explanation: Daisy's sudden aggression is likely a sign of fear or discomfort. The most effective way to manage this behavior is through gradual desensitization, by slowly introducing Daisy to unfamiliar people at a distance where she feels comfortable, and pairing these interactions with positive reinforcement. She can learn that strangers are not a threat. Over time, as Daisy's confidence grows, her aggressive responses should decrease. Options of reprimanding with noise or aversive techniques can escalate anxiety and fear, leading to more aggressive behavior rather than reducing it. Option C, encouraging aggression, would only reinforce the unwanted behavior and make it harder to change. Option D, isolating Daisy, may prevent immediate incidents but does not address the underlying cause of her aggression, and it might worsen her fear of strangers. Question 19. A client comes to you with a 3-year-old golden retriever named Buddy who has a strong tendency to jump up on people whenever they enter the house. The jumping behavior has been consistent, and while Buddy is friendly, the client finds the behavior problematic, especially when he jumps on visitors or children. The owner wants to stop this behavior but is unsure of the best approach. Which of the following methods would be the most effective or reduce Buddy's jumping behavior? A. Ignore Buddy's jumping and wait for him to grow out of it. B. Use physical punishment, such as pushing Buddy down whenever he jumps up on people. C. Reward Buddy for keeping all 4 paws on the ground and practice asking for sit before greeting people. D. Allow Buddy to continue jumping and only intervene when he jumps on visitors. Answer: C. Reward Buddy for keeping all 4 paws on the ground and practice asking for sit before greeting people. Explanation: the most effective way to reduce jumping behavior is to reward calm behavior and teach Buddy an alternative, more appropriate behavior such as sitting. By rewarding Buddy for keeping all 4 paws on the ground and asking for sit before greeting people, he will learn that this is the desired behavior at this point. Reinforcement will help him make better choices in future situations. Option: ignoring the jumping is unlikely to result in the desired change because Buddy is likely to continue jumping as long as he receives attention for it. Option B: physical punishment can increase anxiety or fear and may cause Buddy to become confused about what is expected, potentially leading to other behavioral issues. Option D, only intervening with visitors, is inconsistent and doesn't teach Buddy reliable alternative behavior. The jumping may continue with other people or in different situations. Question 20. A client is concerned about their 4-year-old Australian Shepherd Rex, who has developed a tendency to chase cars whenever he is outside. This behavior is dangerous as Rex has come close to being hit by a vehicle on several occasions. The client is seeking advice on how to stop Rex from chasing cars during walks. Which of the following interventions would be the most effective in managing Rex's car chasing behavior? A. Use an electric shock collar to stop Rex whenever he starts chasing a car. B. Increase the frequency of walks and allow Rex to chase cars until he becomes tired and loses interest. C. Use positive reinforcement to reward Rex for paying attention to the owner and walking calmly, and gradually desensitize him to the presence of cars in a controlled environment. D. Leash Rex tightly whenever cars are approaching to prevent him from running, but do not address the underlying cause of the behavior. Answer: C. Use positive reinforcement to reward Rex for paying attention to the owner and walking calmly, and gradually desensitize him to the presence of cars in a controlled environment. Explanation: Rex's car chasing behavior is likely driven by instinct or excitement. The most effective approach is to use positive reinforcement for calm behavior and gradually desensitize Rex to the presence of cars by rewarding him on the owner and walking calmly. Rex will learn to ignore the cars. Gradual exposure to cars in controlled environment will help him build confidence and reduce the impulse to chase. Option: shock collar is harmful and can cause fear and anxiety. It does not address the underlying cause of the behavior and may lead to other behavioral issues. Option B: increasing walks and allowing him to chase cars reinforces the unwanted behavior and does not provide solution to the problem. Option D: tightening the leash may temporarily stop the behavior but does not address the cause of the behavior or teach Rex better alternative. Question 21. A client has a 2-year-old Dachshund named Bella who has developed a pattern of resource guarding, particularly over her food bowl. Bella growls and snaps at the owner or anyone who comes near her food while she is eating. The client is concerned about the potential for a bite and is seeking guidance on how to manage this behavior. What would be the best strategy to address Bella's food guarding behavior? A. Punish Bella when she growls or snaps at people near her food to teach her that the behavior is unacceptable. B. Gradually desensitize Bella to people approaching her food by offering high-value treats when she remains calm, slowly reducing the distance over time. C. Forcefully take the food away from Bella while she is eating to teach her that food is not a valuable resource. D. Allow Bella to continue guarding her food to avoid causing her as this behavior is natural in some dogs. Answer: B. Gradually desensitize Bella to people approaching her food by offering high-value treats when she remains calm, slowly reducing the distance over time. Explanation: food guarding is often a fear-based behavior, and the best way to address it is through gradual desensitization. By pairing the presence of people near Bella's food with high-value treats and reinforcing calm behavior, she can learn that people approaching her food is a positive experience. Over time, the distance can be reduced as Bella becomes more comfortable with others near her food bowl. Option: punishment can increase anxiety and aggression and may worsen the behavior. Option C: taking the food away can increase resource guarding by reinforcing the idea that food is something to be defended. Option D: allowing guarding will not solve the problem and could lead to more serious incidents. Question 22. A client has a 6-month-old Rottweiler named Thor who is experiencing severe fear-based reactivity towards other dogs. Thor barks, growls, and pulls on the leash when he sees other dogs, and this behavior has been escalating in intensity over time. The client is concerned about Thor's ability to socialize with other dogs and wants to address the reactivity before it worsens. Which of the following strategies would be the most effective or manage Thor's fear-based reactivity? A. Immediately correct Thor with a leash tug whenever he reacts to other dogs to discourage the behavior. B. Gradually expose Thor to other dogs at a distance where he feels comfortable, using positive reinforcement for calm behavior and gradually decreasing the distance over time. C. Isolate Thor from other dogs completely to avoid triggering his reactivity. D. Allow Thor to interact with other dogs without any management, hoping he will have to behave over time. Answer: B. Gradually expose Thor to other dogs at a distance where he feels comfortable, using positive reinforcement for calm behavior and gradually decreasing the distance over time. Explanation: fear-based reactivity can be effectively addressed through gradual desensitization and counter-conditioning. By exposing Thor to other dogs at a distance where he feels safe and rewarding calm behavior, he can learn that the presence of other dogs is not a threat. Over time, the distance can be reduced and Thor can gradually learn to interact calmly with other dogs. Option was also correcting with a leash tug can increase Thor's anxiety and may worsen the behavior by reinforcing fear. Option C: isolating Thor might prevent immediate incidents but will not help him overcome his fear of other dogs. Option D: allowing interactions without management is risky as it could reinforce the reactivity and increase the intensity of the behavior. Question 23. A client owns a 5-year-old border collie named Max who has recently developed a habit of excessive barking when left alone at home. Max's barking is disruptive to the neighbors, and the client is becoming increasingly concerned The client reports that Max has been well behaved in the past, but started this behavior after they began working longer hours. The client has tried using toys and treats to distract Max, but has seen improvement. Which of the following strategies would be the most effective in addressing Max's separation anxiety and excessive barking? A. Increase the duration of Max's alone time gradually while providing him with variety of toys and treats. B. Use spray collar that emits citronella or another aversive stimulus when Max starts barking. C. Implement gradual desensitization protocol by leaving Max alone for short periods and rewarding calm behavior before gradually extending the duration of the absence. D. Allow Max to continue barking and hope that eventually adjusts to being alone over time. Answer C. Implement a gradual desensitization protocol by leaving Max alone for short periods and rewarding calm behavior before gradually extending the duration of the absence. Explanation: Max's excessive barking is likely due to separation anxiety, which can be managed most effectively through gradual desensitization. By starting with short departures and rewarding calm behavior, Max can gradually learn to associate being left alone with positive experiences. Over time, the duration of the separations can be increased. Option: increasing alone time with distractions may worsen Max's anxiety as it does not address the core issue of separation anxiety. Option B: using spray collar might suppress the barking but does not address the underlying cause and could cause additional stress. Option D: allowing the barking to continue is unlikely to resolve the issue and could reinforce the barking behavior. Question 24. A client is concerned about their 8-month-old German Shepherd, Bella, who is fearful of strangers and exhibits avoidance behaviors when encountering new people. Bella hides behind her owner and refuses to approach strangers, even though the client reports that Bella is generally friendly with familiar individuals. The client wants advice on how to increase Bella's comfort level with unfamiliar people. Which of the following approaches either most effective in helping Bella overcome her fear of strangers? A. Forcing Bella to approach strangers to build her confidence and teach her to trust people. B. Gradually expose Bella to strangers at safe distance where she feels comfortable and reward calm behavior when she engages with new people. C. Allow Bella to avoid strangers entirely to prevent her from feeling stressed or scared. D. Punish Bella for hiding behind the owner or showing fearful behaviors when strangers are present. Answer B. Gradually expose Bella to strangers at a safe distance where she feels comfortable and reward calm behavior when she engages with new people. Explanation: Bella's fear of strangers can be effectively managed using gradual desensitization. By exposing her to unfamiliar people at a distance where she feels comfortable and rewarding calm behavior, Bella will gradually learn that strangers are not threatening. Over time, she can be encouraged to approach new people as her confidence grows. Option: forcing Bella to approach could overwhelm her and increase her fear, leading to further avoidance or aggression. Option C: allowing avoidance might prevent immediate stress but does not help Bella overcome her fear. Option D: punishing fearful behavior is likely to exacerbate her anxiety and does not address the root cause of her fear. Question 25. A client is dealing with their 9-month-old golden retriever, Daisy, who has developed a habit of chewing on furniture and household items whenever she is left alone in the house. The client reports that Daisy is provided with plenty of toys, but she continues to chew on the couch cushions, shoes, and other inappropriate items. The client is concerned about the damage to their property and is seeking advice on how to stop this destructive behavior. What would be the most effective strategy to address Daisy's chewing behavior? A. Confine Daisy to crate when she is left alone to prevent her from accessing furniture and other household items. B. Punish Daisy by scolding or using an aversive technique whenever she chews on furniture. C. Provide Daisy with more chew toys but ignore the behavior when she chews on furniture. D. Redirect Daisy's chewing behavior by providing appropriate chew toys and reinforcing the use of those toys when she chews them instead of furniture. Answer: D. Redirect Daisy's chewing behavior by providing appropriate chew toys and reinforcing the use of those toys when she chews them instead of furniture. Explanation: the most effective approach to Daisy's chewing problem is to redirect her chewing behavior to appropriate items. By providing her with engaging chew toys and reinforcing the appropriate behavior, Daisy can learn that chewing on toys is acceptable while chewing on furniture not. Positive reinforcement for chewing the right items is a reliable and humane way to modify the behavior. Option: crating Daisy can prevent access to furniture, but it does not address the root cause of the behavior or teach Daisy to make better choices when out of the crate. Option B. Punishing Daisy can increase anxiety and might lead to confusion or worsen the behavior. Option C. Providing more chew toys but ignoring the behavior may not be enough to fully address the problem, as Daisy needs to be actively reinforced for using the toys instead of the furniture. Question 26. A client owns a 3-year-old Labrador retriever named Max who is exhibiting a sudden increase in digging behavior in the backyard. The client reports that Max has always been a well-behaved dog, but recently he has been digging large holes, especially during the late afternoon. The client is wondering if there is an underlying cause for the sudden change in behavior and is seeking advice on how to address it. Which of the following is the most appropriate course of action to address Max's digging behavior? A. Immediately stop Max from digging by scolding him and filling the holes with dirt every time he digs. B. Investigate possible underlying causes of the digging, such as boredom, anxiety, or the presence of small animals, and address these causes with appropriate interventions. C. Ignore the behavior and assume that Max will stop digging on his own as he matures. D. Restrict Max's access to the backyard completely to prevent digging. Answer. B. Investigate possible underlying causes of the digging, such as boredom, anxiety, or the presence of small animals, and address these causes with appropriate interventions. Explanation. Digging is a natural behavior for dogs, but it can also be triggered by underlying issues like boredom, anxiety, or the presence of small animals. The best approach is to investigate these factors and address the root cause of the behavior, providing Max with that. Physical exercise, mental stimulation, and addressing any potential anxiety will help reduce the digging. Option or colding and fill in the holes does not address the cause of the digging and may cause Max to become more anxious or frustrated. Option C. Ignoring the behavior may allow the digging to continue and escalate, as Max has not been taught an alternative behavior. Option D. Restricting access to the backyard might prevent digging temporarily but does not solve the underlying issue. Question 27. A client has a 10-month-old boxer named Jake who has begun pulling excessively on the leash during walks. Jake's pulling has become a safety concern as it is difficult for the client to control him, especially when encountering distractions like other dogs or cars. The client is seeking advice on how to reduce Jake's pulling behavior during walks. Which of the following strategies would be the most effective in addressing Jake's leash behavior? A. Use prong collar to discourage pulling by applying mild discomfort when Jake pulls. B. Teach Jake to walk politely on the leash by stopping and rewarding him for walking calmly, gradually increasing the amount of time he spends walking without pulling. C. Allow Jake to continue pulling and hope that he will eventually tire out and stop. D. Use retractable leash to give Jake more freedom while walking and hope that he will naturally walk on. Answer. B. Teach Jake to walk politely on the leash by stopping and rewarding him for walking calmly, gradually increasing the amount of time he spends walking without pulling. Explanation. The most effective way to teach Jake to stop pulling on the leash is to reward calm walking by stopping whenever Jake pulls and only rewarding him when he walks calmly. He will learn that pulling does not get him anywhere, but walking calmly will earn him rewards. The method focuses on positive reinforcement and teaches Jake the desired behavior. Obsequious prong collar may suppress the behavior temporarily, but it can cause discomfort and does not address the cause of the pulling. Option C. Allowing pulling will reinforce the pulling behavior and may make it harder to correct in the future. Option D. Retractable leash provides Jake with too much freedom and does not teach him the proper behavior on the leash. Question 28. A client has a 2-year-old beagle named Bella who has started to exhibit resource guarding behaviors. Bella has been observed growling and snapping when her food bowl is approached, and the client is concerned about this developing into more serious aggression. The client has tried to avoid approaching Bella during meal times, but feels uncomfortable with Bella's growling and is seeking advice on how to address this issue. Which of the following strat would be the most effective in managing Bella's resource guarding behavior? A. Punish Bella by yelling or using an aversive method when she growls over food to discourage the behavior. B. Gradually desensitize Bella to the presence of people near her food bowl by pairing the approach with positive reinforcement, rewarding calm behavior when she is comfortable with others nearby. C. Continue to avoid Bella during meal times and allow her to guard her food in peace to avoid escalating the situation. D. Allow Bella to eat. Isolated area where no one can approach her while she is eating. Answer. B. Gradually desensitize Bella to the presence of people near her food bowl by pairing the approach with positive reinforcement, rewarding calm behavior when she is comfortable with others nearby. Explanation. Resource guarding can be managed through gradual desensitization and positive reinforcement. By slowly and calmly introducing people near Bella's food bowl and rewarding her for calm behavior, she can learn that the presence of others does not in a loss of her resources. This approach helps her to reframe the situation and reduces anxiety around guarding. Option: punishing Bella can escalate her anxiety and potentially increase aggression, as it does not address the underlying fear or insecurity. Option C: avoiding Bella during meal times does not help her learn to feel more comfortable in the presence of others and could reinforce her guarding behavior. Option D: isolating Bella may temporarily prevent issues but does not teach Bella how to cope with others near her food in the long term. Question 29. A client has recently adopted a 6-month-old Cocker Spaniel named Lucy, who exhibits excessive barking and jumping when visitors arrive at the house. The client is worried that this behavior will become a problem if not addressed early, as it is difficult for guests to enter the home without Lucy becoming overly excited and vocal. The client is seeking guidance on how to reduce this behavior and make Lucy more manageable around visitors. Which of the following strategies would be most effective in addressing Lucy's barking and jumping when guests arrive? A. Allow Lucy to greet visitors immediately and reinforce her jumping behavior by giving her attention when she is excited. B. Ignore Lucy's barking and jumping and wait for her to calm down before interacting with her, rewarding calm behavior with praise and treats. C. Scold Lucy for barking and jumping when guests arrive to make her associate the behavior with negative consequences. D. Keep Lucy in crate or another room whenever visitors arrive. Prevent her from engaging in barking and jumping behaviors. Answer: B. Ignore Lucy's barking and jumping and wait for her to calm down before interacting with her, rewarding calm behavior with praise and treats. Explanation: to reduce excessive barking and jumping, it is crucial to ignore the unwanted behaviors and reward calm behavior. By not reinforcing the barking and jumping with attention and only offering rewards when Lucy is calm, she will learn that calm behavior results in positive outcomes, while jumping and barking lead to no interaction. Option is reinforcing jumping teaches Lucy that jumping results in attention, reinforcing the unwanted behavior. Option C: scolding can increase anxiety and confusion and might escalate the behavior. Option D: keeping Lucy isolated does not teach her how to manage her excitement or calm down when guests arrive. Question 30. A client owns a 7-year-old Rottweiler named Max, who has recently started displaying signs of aggression towards other dogs during walks. Max has always been friendly with other dogs in the past, but now he exhibits growling, lunging, and snarling behavior when he encounters other dogs on walks. The client is seeking advice on how to manage this aggression and is concerned that it could escalate into more serious behavior if addressed. Which of the following strategies would be most appropriate in addressing Max's aggression towards other dogs during walks? A. Immediately allow Max to interact with the other dogs to teach him that there is no reason to be aggressive. B. Use a prong collar to correct Max when he growls or lunges at other dogs. C. Implement a behavior modification plan that includes counter conditioning and desensitization, gradually exposing Max to other dogs at a safe distance and rewarding calm behavior. D. Avoid walking Max in areas where there are other dogs to prevent any encounters. Answer: C. Implement a behavior modification plan that includes counter conditioning and desensitization, gradually exposing Max to other dogs at a safe distance and rewarding calm behavior. Explanation: Max's aggression towards other dogs can be effectively managed using counter conditioning and desensitization. By gradually exposing him to other dogs at safe distance and rewarding calm behavior, Max will learn to associate the presence of other dogs with positive experiences. Over time, this will help reduce his aggressive responses. Option: allowing immediate interaction might overwhelm Max and reinforce the aggressive behavior rather than helping him learn to remain calm. Option B: using prong collar could cause pain or fear, which may escalate aggression or create negative associations. Option D: avoiding walks with other dogs might prevent immediate incidents but does not address the underlying cause of the aggression.